2 Cylons, 1 Cylons go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Cylon Johns and Jills Network. I am Johnny B. Crazy, here with the expert John St. Baptiste, and we're here to give you the weekly analysis and teaser for the next episode of the spoiler-free Cylon Johns Rewatch, which we do on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern with all these first-time watchers, the Cylon Jills, Bobby Catalano, Mackenzie L. Burns, Clarissa Thompson, Amy True, and Honorary Jill, Julianne89. Come check it out. It's a rock. It's a ruckus. Honestly, we just have a big old shindig and just have fun. And it's really good to see these people enjoy this series for the very first time. We will be covering Season 2, Episode 19, Lay Down Your Burdens, Part 1, and be giving you a teaser for the finale of Lay Down Your Burdens, Part 2, which is Episode 20 in the second season. And it's going to be a 90-minute episode, but we got a short little teaser for you, and it's going to be really fun. We'll be covering that Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Go check it out. Without further ado, I'm running out of breath. John St. Baptiste, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Johnny. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. I know it's been split up into two, which some people like and some people don't, but I think it's great the way they put it together, and I think it's great the cutoff point they made. I think everybody will definitely get that once they've watched part two. And as you and I were talking about beforehand, which you brought up, definitely watch part two as soon as you can before the recap on Friday night, because you're going to need to process a whole hell of a lot.
You really are. I'll try to get this out to you as soon as possible. Maybe even Wednesday morning, you can wake up bright and early, drink a cup of Cylons or a cup of Nanolons, and get with it. You know, everybody
Actually, drink your Starbucks.
Starbucks. Brought to you by Battlestar Galactica and the Cylon Johns and Jills. You need a morning wake me up? You need a midday wake me up? Well, hell, you need to stay up all night and watch Battlestar Galactica? Go to Starbucks.
Send us money.
Cha-ching. Okay. So this is a really good episode. First off, I want to say, and Ronald D. Moore, I was listening to the podcast behind the scenes, you know, that he does. He speaks into his little gray box. It's super high tech, you know, just sitting in his 4x6 room, his little man cave that his wife gives him, smoking his cigars. And now she doesn't even let him smoke in there anymore. But yeah, like most TV shows, the season finale, the finale isn't written until after the second half of the season. Like it's a working project because you have to mold and flow with what's going on. And when you want to take, it doesn't always come out as perfectly as you wrote it down, and you're going to have to adjust to that later. That shit builds up, and this goes with every show. Makes you wonder if they wrote the ending of Game of Thrones and then didn't even change it a little bit while they were in the middle. But don't want to make people sore about that. We won't talk about that too much, even though I still slightly enjoyed it. John, what the hell, man? Like I said, this was a work in progress. Like even the Tyrrell scene, which we talked about pre-show, is it was pretty much written in the moment, especially the part about him being suicidal, and then this why is he suicidal, and we find out at the end of this that, well, he kind of probably thinks he's a Cylon, and whether he is or not, who the hell knows. But he's having this traumatic PTSD, not from anything necessarily besides Sharon and Boomer and what happened to her and how she came to him saying, I think I'm a Cylon. So this is messing with him because she didn't know. What if he doesn't know? And is this going to spread to other people, right? This is something that is almost contagious, this fear. What do you think, John?
Oh, I mean, it would be a valid fear. And his PTSD, I'm surprised just about everyone in the fleet, especially in the military, is not in that kind of frame of mind. I mean, they've been running for 9 months now. You know, and we only see some of the battles and attacks and things like that. I mean, 33 was just going way back to the beginning. I mean, the mental toll that has to take on your psyche.
Every 33 minutes, you're getting butt raped by the Cylons, basically. Sorry for the language, but we'll keep it light and fluffy around here.
Light and fluffy. But you see what long-term PTSD does to, say, Saltai. I mean, because of the things he went through in the first Cylon War. And he's I mean, he can do his job, but he's a very broken man. And one thing that nobody brought up about Anders that I think is interesting, he can't even sleep in his rack. Like, he's in his skivvies, sleeping under a ship on the crew deck. Like he can't even sleep in his own bed. He's just like laying on the floor on the crew deck, which is like, that's kind of intense.
It's really bad, and he exemplifies this. What a great actor. What's his name again? Can't remember. But he's a fantastic actor. They were talking about how good a job he did, and I think he did as well.
Interesting story. People started talking about how from here on out he started putting on weight. He played hockey, like amateur hockey, and he like wrecked his knee or something like that and couldn't play or work out or anything. So he put on like 35 pounds.
Hey, it happens. You see that happen a lot too. Because especially when you work out all the time and your body goes into a state of like a state of hibernation, inactivity. One thing you're going to be slightly depressed because exercise gives you a natural high. Shut up, James Franco. It gives you a natural high. And then when you're not getting that high anymore, you look for something else. Food makes the endorphins rush. Also, you're sitting around, so you can't burn the calories. Your metabolism's going through an altered state. And I am just breaking this down like an asshole. But that's what happens. And I think it's going to be fun to watch his progression of eating.
And also progression of depression. For some people, that's their coping mechanism. Like trauma, shock, depression, anything like that. Like, that's their coping mechanism, is to just start habitually eating. I mean, it happens to some people.
Yeah, and it's good to talk about it because it's real, and we get these perceived notions of what it's like to be normal from media, entertainment, pop culture, and that can be devastating to people's psyche, especially when you look in the mirror and you don't think you see what you're supposed to see, and it's not the right thing.
Aaron Douglas, by the way, is the name of the actor.
Oh, what'd you say?
Aaron Douglas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, he did a fantastic job. They really covered, the Jills really covered this conversation, this breakdown with the psychologist well. Amy was able to give some nice insight, and so was Clarissa. Sorry, Amy wasn't there. Oh, I had Amy on the brain, but hopefully we'll see Amy this week. We miss you, Amy. True, big hearts,
We'll
hearts
see
to
Amy
you.
Wednesday night.
Big hearts to you, Amy. Yes, go check out John's channel. Music makes people come together. John St. Baptiste. He has an awesome channel, and he covers everything Neil Gaiman for the most part. And talking about some Terry Pratchett, Neil Gaiman, good Omens coming up, so that's going to be very interesting. Yeah, go check that out. I'll definitely be checking it out. So be there or be square. Your skin jobs. Let's see what we have here. And like I said, Ron kind of improvised the Tyrrell script, which I think was a beautiful thing. That's how you know someone's good, when they can do stuff on the fly. It's easy to plan stuff out, but when things don't go as planned, or you need something to spice up the story and you don't have that, well, things can get a little flat. So I'm giving some props here, as we always do. I'm not kissing ass though, whatever. Yeah, something also to remember is how low budget this damn show is. Just want to say that much because it really is low budget. They are working with minimal funding, and I think they do a fantastic job with that.
Yeah, it tells you don't need like $1 billion to make something good. You can still pull something together. I mean, the one I always think about and look back on is Clerks. If I remember correctly, it was shot for like 10 grand.
Yeah.
And everybody thought that Kevin Smith, it was his first film. Everybody thought he did it in black and white for artistic reasons. He's like, no, black and white film was just a lot cheaper.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but you have to do what you have to do. You have to scrounge, you have to get seen somehow. And that's usually how these brilliant people get made up or get seen. And I guess I'll segue a little bit here into the Chekhov's gun. That is the dog tags that Kara gave Anders, right? And then we see her go back to get him. She finally gets this taken care of. We talked about this a little bit, but what are your thoughts here, John? And how did you feel about Starbuck going back for Anders? I know you're a big Starbucks fan. Cha-ching. And what do you think?
Well, you and I were talking about how I always, like, first watch through, I always thought she was going to go back. And I think you did as well. Like, and I think Starbuck's the type of person, eventually she would have been like, you know what, fuck the president, fuck Adama. I said I'd do this, I'm going to go do this. You know?
Yeah, at some point she's going to do whatever the hell she wants to do.
Yeah, Starbucks really good at that. But she does get permission, and she, brings her group back. And I love that when she's assigning the mission, even though she's now a captain, I mean, she is the CAG there. She says that this is, completely volunteer. If you don't want to do this, if you don't want to be part of this, this is a very dangerous mission. You're free to leave. That's fine. I really think that is, if you kind of consider something your personal crusade, for lack of a better term, then if you're asking for help, you ask for help. You don't tell people they have to help you. And then Apollo comes in like a boss. Yeah.
He does. Just do whatever the fuck. Yeah, at this point, he's admiral now. This is kind of the first time we get to see him.
He's commander. Sorry.
Commander, sorry. Yeah, of
Pegasus.
Of Pegasus. And this is kind of the first time we get to see him active. We have Boomer here. Hey, Sharon, looking distraught, as she should, in chains. She thinks her baby is dead, which, put a pin in that. We'll get to that later.
By the way, she looks damn good for just having had a baby.
Yeah, I know, right? That Cylon regimen. Then, look, the gyms there are not that good, but if a Cylon does 3 push-ups, they're in shape. 3 push-ups, 3 sit-ups, you're good to go. Whatever your number is, she has to do 8, I think. Whatever your number is, that's how many you get for regeneration skills. And yeah, to your point, they asked about, it's kind of pretty much a volunteer mission. And what happens? Well, racetrack messes up. And I know there's something else that someone else messes up while jumping. But here they see this world. And it's, oh, goodness. That's a good shot. And they had to make this completely different. And this was a struggle, I would say. It's definitely got to be any writer's struggle, because in the first season they found Cobalt, a planet. In this season they find this planet, nameless as of right now, at the equator. It is habitable, and Racetrack basically fumbles upon this, and it's a completely different aspect. During this screw up, actually, Racetrack will probably get some commendations or something for this, because hey, And this changes the game politically as well. And we talked about that a lot on Friday. Go check that out. I'll have it at the end of this video. But I I think this is really good setup. I want to say that they did that. And then they get left behind. And then we have another mess up here, right? The other ship jumps straight into a mountain. And I know you wanted to touch on that, John.
Yeah, just I wanted to touch on the I guess you can't really call it physics because FTL, as far as we know, isn't really possible. But the conceptual theory is that what would happen if a thing that is transponding from one space to another jumps into a solid space, it's literally stuck in that solid space. The molecules are going to be stuck there. So what would have happened when the reason it happened is because they jumped so close to the planet to try and avoid detection. And, you know, just that little micro number in the equation threw it off, and one of them jumped directly into the center of a mountain. So it's not like they're in a hollow space in the center of the mountain. Their molecules are literally dispersed all over the molecules in that mountain.
They are the mountain now. They will become gods in the future. That mountain, it becomes conscious. This is a spoiler. In the final season, we had the talking mountain, kind of a replication of Moses and the burning bush. I'm just kidding. See, my tinfoil is strong, though. Very strong tinfoil.
Tinfoil is strong with this one. Yeah.
What else do we have to touch on this one? No, go ahead.
We should probably talk about Baltar and Six and their relationship involving the baby, now that the baby's supposedly gone.
Yeah, what does he have any power at this juncture to try to find the baby? Is he in the know? I can't remember.
Oh, he thinks it's dead.
Okay. And as you know, would this put him on a path to try to make another baby? That might be something that you could think about. Or would he somehow find out about this in the future?
Yes.
What do you... I know it's hard to say anything without spoiling, but Baltar's drive was the baby. He had the vision of Adama killing the baby. Do you think his drive for that baby is still as strong and he is fighting it? Because it keeps going from fighting Six's ideology, which I guess you could say is his. It's like fighting his inner demons. He's the devil on his shoulder. The angel Six, or vice versa. Depends how you want to look at it, because you don't really know what her end game is yet. It could be evil. It could be good. It's really hard to say with Baltar, right? It seems like he's just fighting it as much as he can, but sometimes he seems to accept it.
You know, there may be no such thing as evil or good, so much as God's plan. And maybe God's plan in its very ineffability, if one believes in such things, evil and good are consequential. Just a thought.
Yeah, it just is. That's kind of the way I look at it sometimes. There's, you could call it the isness, you know, as something that I looked at some stuff a long time ago, and this person explained something that the aliens told him, but the way he explained it is interesting. that the God there's really no form. It's hard to describe, and that the aliens call it the isness, that it just is, and things. Um, it's hard to describe it, but it is pretty philosophical. The guy's probably insane, but when we're all younger, we go down that UFO rabbit hole. So,
Oh, read some Ram Dass sometime.
oh, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Zechariah Stitchin.
Yeah, that's good. Anunnaki, the 10th planet. Yeah, I mean, and there's those stories ring pretty true. Even the bare minimum, I think there was different societies. There were more technological societies back in history that we don't know existed. It's so hard just to find the skeleton of an actual human from or any animal from so many years ago. The conditions have to be right for a skeleton to even survive.
Right.
So,
Right.
well, we're getting off topic here, even though I'm sure people love this. Oh, what we're talking about? Yeah, we got through everything. We might can get 2 teasers. Not sure. What else have you got there, my friend?
Oh, who gets your acting chops this week?
Well, like I said, I got to give it to Tyrrell for that rendition of his pain and suffering, and not wanting to even recognize it. Knowing it's there, knowing why it's there, but how your mind guards itself against itself sometimes, and it was portrayed perfectly. It wasn't over exaggerated. It seemed very real, very real. What about you?
As great of a job as he did, keeping with this same picture right here, I have to go Dean Stockwell.
Of course.
I love me some Dean Stockwell. But I think he plays the tough love clergyman quite well.
Tough love coach. He really does, and he goes from creepy to caring, and you can't tell. It's hard to read him, which is perfect, and I think that's what this character is supposed to portray. Ronald D. Moore actually said that he didn't divert from the script. He did it perfectly. He didn't even ad lib at all, but he just used these minor facial expressions that killed the scene. Yeah, he loved that. He loved that. He loved how professional he was. He was a great dude. So that's good. That's good, man. We do have an awesome 90-minute episode we will be covering Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come check it out. It'll be Lay Down Your Burdens Part 2, season finale of Season 2. What's your teaser, John?
Well, I was just going to say, in that 90-minute thing, just make sure that's the one you watch before the Friday episode, because there are 2 out there. The original one that was aired, and then the one that was re-aired, because the original one was the regular time and format, and because of how much they had to cut out, it was so confusing that Sci-Fi Channel was like, okay, hey, you guys are right. This needs to be a longer episode, so we'll go ahead and do it. So just make sure that's the one you're watching. My teaser for this week is When You Walked Out on Me and Walked Old Misery. And he's been here since then.
I can't even top that. My teaser's okay this week. It's I would just say in some cultures, children shelter and take in their parents. Very veiled. Very veiled. Figure that one out, asshats. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a Cylon and I'm angry about it, right? You meat bags. No, we love you all. Special shout out to the Jills. Again, Amy True, Bobby Catalano, Clarissa Thompson, Mackenzie L. Burns, and honorary Jill, Julianne89. And definitely go check out Handmade by Bobby and all her awesome crafts. John even has this awesome Battlestar Galactica notebook. He may or may not be able to show it off. Look at that. He's got it on the ready. It was in his hip holster.
It's where I keep all my notes about Battlestar Galactica.
Hey, it's awesome. I got a couple of handmade books by my awesome friend And it's fantastic. She's great. She puts her love and soul into it. So definitely go check that out. Yeah, we'll see you Friday or on the next Cylon, John's, and Jill's podcast. So say we all, John?
So say we all.